Hi guys, Brahmid here once again, just starting the video with a close-up shot of my maxed out Town Hall 9 base, not that I'm showing off or anything. So let's jump in and have a look at the results of the war. Alamut didn't really put up much of a fight. I think they made a few attacks at the start and then they decided to farm our number 3 and pretty much gave up and wrote something to that effect in their clan message. So a little bit boring, but it meant we had a chance to try a few new attacks and maybe aim a little bit higher than before. So here's me taking on a Town Hall 10, which is not something I normally do. Just showing you here the range of the clan castle, the queen that I need to get, but also I'm just clicking through all the air defences and showing you how there's a few defences that are out of range of them, so they're going to be pretty easy for me to grab with some balloons. For example, at Archer Tower I just clicked on there, and I think down the bottom there's about 3 defences in the south. And there you go as well, just zooming in on the places where it looked like there could possibly be double giant bombs. I think everywhere else there were singles. If I was him I would have put my doubles in there. So first off, dropping in a few balloons just to take out those 3 defences, and I also wanted to get that mortar because I wanted to do the lure in the top corner, and the range of the mortar was pretty much right up to that that burning torch, so I didn't want the mortar landing on my witches. So you can see there I've taken out the 3 defences and I'm starting to bring the clan castle up to the top corner. Once the clan castle is pretty much dead, I'll be releasing my heroes because there's nothing stopping me getting towards the enemy queen, and with her only being level 12 she shouldn't be too much for my heroes to take down. So there you go, standard clan castle to kill the enemy clan castle with the 2 witches, the 2 barbarians and a wizard. And there you go, the heroes go down and they funnel in towards the queen and take her out pretty quickly. And then here I looked out a little bit because my king detonated that giant bomb ahead of my hogs, which saved them a bit of damage. Probably meant it went to a 3-star rather than a 2-star. And there you can see the other group at the bottom. The reason I separated them out was because I wanted to make sure at least one group went to the single target inferno towers. And there you go, just keeping the heals up nice and early. Again, my thinking there was that it might not be a 3-star, but I wanted to make sure I at least cleared the first half and got that 2-star. And that's also why I brought those extra witches, because I thought if it all went wrong, the witches might be able to take out the single target infernos by simply overwhelming them. But it went really, really well actually. I probably got a little bit lucky in a few places, particularly that giant bomb that I pointed out. And as you can see, I've got some hogs left at the end. Couple of spare balloons there at the bottom, which I just didn't really have any bearing on the raid, but I just released because they were there. But you can see there at the bottom right the double giant bombs have both detonated, which is where we'd identified the double giant bombs, and potentially there was another double giant, but I think I only set one of them off at the bottom right. So yeah, a pretty good attack all told, and I haven't used hogs for a while, so I was quite pleased with how that went, but there was definitely an element of luck. So let's now jump ahead to some negatives. The first negative being that we didn't get a whole lot of replays from this war because there was a patch, which is obviously great, but that wipes all of the replays. So I've got mostly fails, well not mostly fails, but quite a few fails. And this is the first one. It's Duke on Besiktas, which on paper looks like a fairly easy base to take on. There's just the one Inferno tower, and Duke's going with a pretty standard go wee attack at the start here. Actually, no, sorry, there's no wizards. And then he's going to use, but that's his kill squad, take out the queen, take out some air defences, and then he's going to use balloons and lava hounds, so a lava loon attack, sorry. But here you can see things start to go wrong. Okay, we've got the queen, but our queen is distracted and it doesn't look like she's going to lock onto that air defense, which is going to be a bit of a problem. And now Duke's going to start dropping in his balloons. He's really got no choice at this point, and his lava hounds. And you can see there the lava hound gets taken out pretty quickly because there's quite a lot of air defense DPS in the center. Another one goes in. And I mean, things aren't going badly, and when I said fail, this is I think this is still a pretty good attack. It's not a 2-star, but only because the Town Hall miraculously escapes. But you can see the balloons are taking a lot of damage and they're struggling to get into the middle and take out that core. And a big part of that is just because the kill squad didn't get quite far enough into the center. Duke's obviously got the free spell, so he uses that on the Inferno tower. But at this point the raid pretty much isn't savable just because there's too much DPS in that centre there, and balloons are too slow, they've got to float too far to get to it. And there you go, minions going in, but with only one or two balloons left, he's not going to take down all of those defences, and clearly even if he did, he would probably run out of time. So a good attack, and obviously the kill squad was the right thing to do, but probably didn't invest enough in the kill squad. And if you watch closely, I think quite a lot of the kill squad dies in the initial attack under fire from wizards from the defensive clan castle. So I decided I'd improve on that attack, or I'd attempt to improve on that attack. I'd do something similar, but I wanted to get the lure, and I also wanted to, because I didn't have a freeze spell, I wanted to take out the single target Inferno Tower. Okay, so as you can see, I've lured the clan castle, again a standard clan castle killing CC with my heroes as well, although not my king, as I always just point out. I don't want to drop him in too early and see him get damaged by the defensive wizards. And I brought some hogs along, which I'm going to use to try and take out that Inferno Tower. And I kind of just trusted, I see there's a lot of trash buildings, but I kind of just trusted that my heroes would, at this point, and you can see the king doing it now, turn inwards. And that's when I released my hogs. I wanted to get them in nice and early with a rage. Cut it a little bit fine because I didn't anticipate those spring traps in front of the Inferno Tower, but luckily I got just enough hogs on it. As you can see, none survived the Inferno Tower. A few survived that went towards the bottom, but not the Inferno Tower. And there you go, my king and queen went in, and they did take out the defensive queen, and they took out some of the air defences. But as you can see, with them being, the air defences being very central, my balloons are really struggling to get in there. And I feel a little bit unlucky here, because you can see that air defence, the southernmost air defence, somehow survives. I think about 4 balloons died on top of it, but none of them actually dropped their payload, which was a bit disappointing. And again, now you can see this attack's heading the same way that Duke's did. I've got just a little bit too much DPS in the middle that's going to take out my balloons. The one advantage I did have here is my queen stayed up a little bit longer with it being a bit higher level, and she did some damage to the town hall, and that, you'll see in a minute, which in quite a funny ending, becomes critical, because these minions are going to come over, and that one minion, the first one's just slightly too far for the hidden Tesla to hit it. So you can see the cleanup crew around the top not making any headway, and this was literally with about 3 seconds to go that this minion managed to get the work done and then get taken out by the hidden Tesla. So a 2-star, but by a margin of about a second, and again, not the 3-star we're looking for, so probably a fail there, especially against a base with just the one Inferno Tower. A little bit disappointing, but interesting to see the kind of events that an attack like that can turn on. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at where that attack did go wrong. The first thing to say is I did misspeak during that that description, and obviously Duke didn't go with a go wee wee. It was just a normal kill squad, and also what I was saying was he didn't have any witches rather than didn't have any wizards, but I'm not going to go back and re-record that now. So let's have a little look at Besiktas. As I was saying, an easy base, well, an easy base for Town Hall 10, maybe not an easy base overall, but just the one level 1 Inferno Tower, and it's on single target, which means you've got a good chance to overwhelm it. When I was planning my attack, I did actually nearly bring a golem, but I hadn't brought one on the 3-star attack, and that's turned out to be a good decision with the single target Infernos, so I decided not to bring one again, and it probably was the right decision. Even a level 1 Inferno Tower can do a lot of damage to a golem, so best left out if you can avoid it. And also good to get those hogs in early for me, because that protected my king and queen from being targeted as well. So let's just have a look at why we both failed, really. So it looked like a good base because for an air attack, because you can see these air defences are quite low level, and you've got like a funnel coming in from the bottom here. Perhaps you could use your queen might be able to take out these 2 and take out the Inferno Tower if the hogs don't get it. So there's a lot of good options, but you've got quite a lot of high health buildings here. You've got a lot of buildings touching each other here, which means your king and queen are going to get distracted, and you've also got a lot of ground damage here. I'm not seeing this very often with all these cannons. I did drop my balloons in on those cannons on my attack, thinking that would be enough, but I think at that point they had taken their toll on the king, which meant he went down soon after, so he didn't really do a lot more damage after killing the queen. And the other problem, as I pointed out in the video, is everything's got a long way to go before it reaches the centre. You know, if you're over here, I think there was a hidden Tesla just underneath these two builders' huts, and then you've got to go to here. You might find you get distracted to here, then to this high health expo, or you go this way and get dragged around here. Your balloons aren't actually going to the core, so I think if I'd looked more closely, I might have realised there's a lot of opportunities for my balloons to get distracted and go the wrong way. Whether that's by designing this base or not, I'm not sure. It doesn't look like a very well thought out base. It looks like he's just dropped his buildings in, and I think that's what attracted me to attack it. You know, that didn't seem well planned, but actually that might have worked in his favour in this attack. So, how would I go about it differently next time? Well, obviously it's difficult to say because I did fail and I did spend a lot of time thinking about that attack. So I'm not the expert. You know, I'm not going to say that I've got all the answers. But I think where I went wrong, and perhaps where Duke went wrong as well, was we didn't invest enough in that kill squad. If we'd had a bit more of an investment, perhaps come in with a golem from down here, so it's away from the Inferno Tower, and then you've got your king and queen, plus some witches to back them up, and some wizards who are going to take out like this dark barracks, perhaps this gold mine, this army camp to create a nice funnel. Then ideally you would want to get up and get the queen and take out this air defence and maybe these two air defences. So potentially we should have maybe dropped down to, I think we both brought 3, well I won't speak for Duke, I can't remember, but I think we both brought 3 lava hounds, and perhaps should have dropped that down to 2 hounds, a few less balloons as well, and gone for pretty much a go wee wee or a go wipe to get to what I would call the halfway point of the base, you know, all across here, and picking up this as well. And then once we've got that successfully in the bag, then to come in from the back and really see the balloons as a clean-up to pick out these 3 buildings around the outside. So here, the hidden Tesla that we know is here, and maybe just, perhaps even just 1 lava hound to come in and distract this air defense. So as I say, I haven't got all the answers, but I think the problem there was probably a lack of investment in the original kill squad. Okay, so let's move on to one last replay, and it's Mountain Biker with a hog attack. Another attack I'm calling a fail, maybe being a bit cruel when I'm saying fail, because we're still getting, you know, a couple of stars on these. It's just the small mistakes that could be ironed out to get them into 3 stars, and that's the reason for showing them. I'll just warn you as well, if you hear some hiccuping during this, a few of you might know of the account LizPig. Well, it's the original LizPig hiccuping behind me because she's just had half a bottle of wine with her friend. And that's her whinging now. So yeah, Mountain Biker here, and he's going to take on a pretty maxed out Town Hall 9 with Hog Riders. And first off, because of the good level queen, he's going to take her out with the kill squad, or he's going to attempt to. The theme here really with these attacks I've been showing is that it's lack of investment in the kill squad that's costing the attacks. So in this case, Mountain just doesn't quite get the queen, and there's a combination of factors which you'll see in a minute, but the main one is I just don't think he brings quite enough troops to do it. So there you can see it's a well leveled up base. The main weakness, which Mountain's exploiting now because it's a well known base, and I think we might have attacked it before, is the single giant bombs in the corners. So he's going to detonate all of them first, or a few of them, and also get the Clan Castle lure. But yeah, bases like this, compact in the middle, so you haven't got a whole lot of spring traps in there, and then with really, really obvious single giant bomb spots, and probably no double giant bombs, you've got to hog them really, you've got no choice. It's such a good option to hog them, and hogs are so powerful when they're used right. So here we go, Mountain's got the Clan Castle lure, and now he's going to try and kill it with his Clan Castle. And I'd personally say he's probably dropped his king a bit early there. I'm not sure whether he actually takes much damage from the wizards, but he does take a bit there. You can see about a quarter of his health, now half. So that's already 1 negative. Now the king's going walkabout because he hasn't been able to break the ring, he hasn't got enough wizards. And yet his queen is heading towards that jump spell, but she's got some high HP buildings to take out first before she goes for the enemy queen. And so she's going to target this elixir storage for quite a while. Then when she goes in, she's going to target the other storage, the gold storage. and then she's finally going to target the enemy queen, but she's hardly got any health left. And at this point I think Mountain realises she's probably not going to do it, so he releases the hogs. But again, that doesn't go great because that distracts the queen and takes her away from our queen and means she has no chance to take her out. And then you've got the queen hitting the hogs as they go around, but nevertheless it's still really good heal placement, and the hogs, you'll see at the end, almost make it round. I think there's one hog left for that last defense, but it's just not quite enough. So yeah, if you just brought a little bit more at the start, you might have been able to take out that queen, and this could have gone totally differently, because it is a really good base to use hog riders against. But also at this point he's got no cleanup crew whatsoever, so it was very fine margins, and I think he's down to his last sort of 3 hogs now, and they just aren't quite enough to take out this defence and take out the king. But even if he'd had 2 or 3 left, it probably wouldn't have been enough for the cleanup. So what he needed to do there really was just to invest a lot more in the kill squad at the start, and that's the theme for today if you're going to take anything away. Thanks for watching.